President Cyril Ramaphosa delivered a bold and sobering address to ANC leaders in the Western Cape, challenging them to reflect deeply on their connection with ordinary South Africans. In a province where the ANC has struggled to regain trust, his powerful question, "Are we connected to our people?" set the tone for an urgent call to realign with the grassroots. In a moment that combined urgency and quiet defiance, President Cyril Ramaphosa stood before ANC leaders in the Western Cape and asked a piercing question, "Are we connected to our people?" It was more than a rhetorical inquiry, it was a challenge, a wake-up call, and a mirror held up to a party that has, in many places, drifted far from its roots. Ramaphosa wasn't speaking at a rally or a public campaign. He was addressing comrades, ANC leaders in a province where the party has struggled for over a decade to gain meaningful traction. His words weren't meant to inspire applause. They were designed to provoke discomfort, to ignite introspection. And for once, there was no blaming the opposition, no scapegoating external forces. This was inward-looking. Do we understand the pain of the people in Khayelitsha, Mitchell's Plain, Gugulethu? He asked. Or have we become people who speak on behalf of the masses without ever truly listening to them? The president's words landed heavily in the room, weighted with truth. The ANC, especially in the Western Cape, is not trusted like it once was. And Ramaphosa admitted, directly, that the blame lies within. The speech was not just about the Western Cape, it reflected a deeper national crisis. Years of internal battles, corruption scandals, and factionalism have created a gap between the ANC's leadership and its supposed base. Ramaphosa challenged his party to face this truth. We once walked among the people. We knew their struggles. Now, many of us ride in blue light convoys and only appear when it's time to campaign, he said. It wasn't just a criticism. It was a plea. Ramaphosa called for ANC leaders to stop being event-based politicians and return to being grounded community activists. We need branches that work, he said. Not just branches that fight over conference delegates. He criticized the culture of performative politics, leaders doing walkabouts for cameras but avoiding tough conversations in places where people are hurting. He reached into the past, invoking the names of Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and Albertina Sisulu. These weren't symbolic references, they were examples of a type of leadership rooted in humility, sacrifice, and connection. We were not created to be a party of elites, he said. We were formed in resistance, with pain, for the people. He called on leaders to remember those origins, not just for nostalgia, but for direction. The trust deficit is real. Ramaphosa acknowledged that. He said the party had failed South Africans in many ways: housing, youth unemployment, crime, and corruption. The scandals of state capture, looting of COVID-19 funds, and internal decay had left many citizens bitter. We must be honest about where we went wrong, he said. And we must commit to fixing it not with words, but with actions. His message was brutal in its honesty. He didn't offer empty promises. Instead, he challenged the ANC to re-earn trust, one step at a time, by showing up, listening, and delivering. He spoke of community engagement, not as a campaign tactic, but as a way of life. Let us not speak for the people, he said. Let us speak with them. In the Western Cape, the ANC has not governed in years. It has remained largely in opposition, often fragmented, often accused of focusing more on internal squabbles than on real engagement. Ramaphosa made it clear that this was not acceptable. He called on the provincial leadership to rise above petty politics and reconnect with the everyday lives of people. We cannot afford to be missing in action, he said. What stood out about his address was its rawness. Ramaphosa didn't gloss over the failures. He faced them. That vulnerability, in a time when most political speeches are filled with denial or bravado, felt different. He didn't speak like a man trying to save face. He spoke like someone trying to save the soul of a party that has lost its way. This was not a polished campaign pitch. It was a confession, a challenge, and a warning. The ANC cannot keep assuming support is guaranteed. The people don't owe us their vote, he said. We owe them our service. Ramaphosa didn't just talk about leadership. He talked about humility. The title, comrade, used to mean something, he said. Now, for some, it's become a label for access and privilege. That critique struck deep. It pointed to a party that, in many eyes, has become more about power than principle. He warned that the ANC is running out of time. If we don't change, the people will make the change for us, he said. And we cannot blame them if they do. He emphasized that renewal isn't just about leadership changes or slogans, it's about changing how the party works at the grassroots. It's about presence. It's about earning legitimacy again, door by door, street by street. The ANC, once synonymous with the liberation of South Africa, is no longer viewed with automatic reverence. It's often seen as bureaucratic, corrupt, and out of touch. Ramaphosa didn't shy away from this reality. Instead, he challenged the organization to rebuild that lost connection, not with headlines or handouts, but through consistent service and authentic relationships with people. He said it plainly, our people are tired of excuses. They want clean water. They want electricity. They want jobs. They want to feel safe. And they want leaders who care. He urged ANC leaders to stop acting like the ruling elite and return to being public servants. No one owes us loyalty. We must earn it. This speech marked a notable moment. It wasn't about enemies or opposition. It was about the ANC versus itself. The greatest threat to the ANC is not another party, it's its own distance from the people it once vowed to serve. Ramaphosa offered no delusions. He did not suggest the ANC could regain lost ground quickly. But he insisted it could begin to repair what's been broken. That starts, he said, with listening more than talking, delivering more than promising, and serving more than campaigning. Whether the party takes this message to heart remains to be seen. The ANC is vast, fractured, and often resistant to change. But moments like this reveal that at least some within the party still want to steer it back toward its founding principles. Ramaphosa made clear that without this return to values, the ANC risks becoming irrelevant. For South Africans who feel abandoned or disillusioned, his speech may have struck a chord, but it will take more than words to restore trust. The coming months will reveal whether the ANC can match the president's tone with action. Because if not, the people will speak louder than any internal call for renewal. And if you're watching this, ask yourself, what kind of leadership do we deserve? What kind of leadership do we demand? The future of South Africa depends on whether our leaders can reconnect with the people, or whether they keep drifting further into privilege and self-preservation. If you believe in holding them accountable, if you believe in a better tomorrow, then don't just scroll past. Subscribe now. Stay informed. Stay engaged. Because the question Ramaphosa asked doesn't just apply to ANC leaders. It applies to us all.